Not all of the karts and bikes are created equally in the Mario Kart series. There are lots of interesting stats which determine if the vehicle you use is good. The outside versus inside drift, the handling, acceleration, top speed, what character adds to the combo, making it the deadliest racer in the game. But scrap all those ideas. We're going to dive into what truly matters, which are the funniest and weirdest karts in terms of design. Today, I'm going to search through all the karts and bikes in every installment and pick out a maximum of 3 funny ones from each game. So what system am I using to determine if the kart is weird? None! This is my personal opinion. I will try to justify my choices, but maybe you won't find them as funny as I do. Or maybe you'll think there are better choices. Maybe there are. This video is totally just for fun, and I will be leaving out odd karts because of my 3 kart per game rule. With this established, let's get into the list. This one's a little controversial. There are a ton of funny and original karts in Super Mario Kart. But personally, my choice for the oddest kart is the pipe frame. Just kidding, the pipe frame is the only kart in Super Mario Kart. Each character has their own stats, but the kart isn't customizable. So while Toad and Koopa have high acceleration and good handling, there isn't a kart that can complement those stats or boost the other ones, since you get what you get with the one kart. But you didn't have to tell me Toad is a good character. I already knew that. He's the best in every game. I mean, look at how cute he is, and tell me how I couldn't choose him every time, despite the stats. While there is only the pipe frame, each player does have their own colored kart, so I guess I could make a choice based on that. I don't know, what's a funny color? I don't look at Koopa and think, haha, yellow! Although, in-game, his kart doesn't look too yellow to me, but what do I know? There are also different engine sounds, which is a pretty neat detail, and Koopa and Toads do sound the funniest in my opinion. Yellow and funny sounding? I don't have a choice for this one, which I'm not too mad about since it saves me from needing a ton of footage for this game, which is really difficult and hasn't aged the finest. Honestly, I had more fun than expected playing, so I don't know what I'm going off about. But that's not what this video is about. Let's move on to the next. Spoiler alert, I'm grouping together Mario Kart 64 and Super Circuit because just like the first game, there are no funny karts. The pipe frame is back for both games, just slightly redesigned. The characters get new colored vehicles. DK gets the yellow kart this time, so I guess I'll pick on him since Koopa is now gone. They brought the new design, which has a dual exhaust, and the new colors, both from Mario Kart 64, over to Super Circuit. I have no pick here, so let's move on to the first game in the series to have different vehicles, where I can finally declare some weird karts. At last, some customization! Double Dash brought a whopping 20 characters to the game, and decided to add a kart for each character, and an additional one, therefore adding a total of 21. The vehicles reflect their characters in some way, such as DK Jumbo is made from barrels, the Koopa Dasher is a big turtle shell. Some are less creative than the others. I mean, we've got Mario's kart that is red and blue, so it must be his. Okay, it's got the M symbol on it, and it says Mario and Luigi on the tires, although you don't have to use Luigi to play on it, or Mario either. Basically, anyone who is the same weight class can use any of the karts of that weight class. Mixing the characters' classes mean that you use the heavier of the two. But back to my point, some karts are creative in connection to the theme of the characters, others are just red and blue. Some of these karts are so cool, the Wario car, King Koopa, but let's forget about cool. We want weird and funny. For Yoshi, we get his head on a kart. Equally just as funny is the Turbo Birdo. I'm combining these two together for my first choice. I know, I'm already stretching the extent to my own rules, but they're the same kart essentially, just a different character. Typically, the intended pairs do get matching karts, which is what happened with Birdo and Yoshi. I can't exactly call these karts inspired. They could have made it egg themed, not even just an egg like DS, but no, let's use their heads instead. They just look so funny. Could you imagine if they pulled this with any other character? Like Mario? Just a giant human head on the front? The funniest part is how any medium weight character can choose this kart. Like yeah, I'm playing as Peach and Daisy, but if only there was a way to incorporate my favorite character Yoshi into the game. No way! If you like Yoshi or Birdo enough, just play as them. But honestly, I do get it. If I'm playing as another character and see some crazy cart like a big head, I'm choosing it. Call me a hypocrite, but in my defense, if I'm playing a medium weight character in this game, it would be Yoshi and Birdo. Cause obviously any other time, I'm playing as Toad. Choice number 2 goes to the Goo Goo Buggy or the Rattle Buggy. I don't know, is blue or green more funny? There's no yellow, so I can't decide. Goo Goo Buggy is the funnier name though. Baby Mario and Baby Luigi's carts are just so silly. They're babies, so of course they give them a motorized stroller. I like the smiley flower on the side from Super Mario World to Yoshi's Island. It's a nice touch. I think the cart makes sense, and it is creative in its design. It's just funny. The baby characters having their driver's license is a crazy concept, but I guess not too far off when you remember they're doctors too. I especially think it's random putting characters who aren't babies into this cart. Like, what did Koopa do to deserve this? Or this? It's just a funny concept, and I like it. My final choice for this game is Boo Pipes. Tell me why King Boo has a cart shaped like a pipe. I understand why Petey Piranha has one. And as I had mentioned before, the intended partners typically have matching carts. But when I think of King Boo, my mind typically doesn't lean towards pipes. The cart itself is funny in general. Look at it, just 2 pipes attached together on wheels. I chose King Boo specifically cause the other one I can justify a little. They really couldn't leave the pipe behind between the pipe frame from the last games to this pipe cart. Mario Kart Arcade GP has one cart for everyone, so naturally, DK has the funniest cart because it's yellow. The next game to come out chronologically is Mario Kart DS, and up until now I was following that order. So naturally, let's break the order now and talk about the next arcade game since I had nothing to say about the last one. Mario Kart Arcade GP2, also known as the game that you guys were yelling at me for not including in my weirdest rosters video. Rightfully so, it was a weird one. Anyways, I digress. The player gets their standard carts, boring, along with one special cart per character. Some of these are similar to DS, so maybe it would have made sense if I went in order, but too late now. Speaking about one that is similar to DS, we've got the Mash Run. It is a mushroom, with mushroom wheels. The Mushmallow from DS has the cooler name, but it has standard wheels, so I like this design a little more. And DS has so many funny ones that I didn't even have a spot to consider a mushroom for. There's not much to this cart. It's weird because typically mushrooms aren't vehicles. That's about all I have to add here. To continue the food trend as a cart, Sweet's Party, Miss Pac-Man's cart, takes the next spot. This is another cute cart, but also a little strange. Like, it's just a cake with donut wheels. How is this a cart? It looks yummy, and I like the candle on the back of it, as if it wouldn't go out in the wind. You know, if it was real, and if this game was real, and if they made a real-life cake cart. So I guess the candle is safe for now. My last choice goes to the Memechi Special, because honestly, I have no clue what's going on in this cart. I have no knowledge of Tomodachi, just like I have no clue if I'm pronouncing Memechi's name right. It looks like the little guy is pulling Memechi, but I have no clue who this little dude is, and the concept of someone pulling the cart is funny. This one just confuses me, therefore making it on my list. Alright, back in time now to Mario Kart DS. As I teased earlier, there are so many weird ones. You probably will have a different list than mine, because I had a hard enough time narrowing it down. First note, you can customize an emblem by drawing it out, which adds to the fun of the carts. Nintendo, bring this back! Anyways, my first choice goes to the Tyrant. It might not be on everyone's list, but let me convince you. It is literally Bowser's foot as a cart. Who decided that for a motorized vehicle, let's use Bowser's dogs? And he drives it so proudly too. His big claws and 3 toes come out of the front of the vehicle. This is just strange. What's next? Mario's foot as a car? Then I know you would think it's weird. So is Bowser's foot really much better? Just the concept that his foot is a car is a crazy idea. At least Yoshi got his head on the front, not his foot. I don't care who it belongs to, but this is just a weird one. For some reason, this game decided to bring in machinery as karts. My next choice goes to the Gold Mantis, Waluigi's signature kart. This kart is possibly inspired by Foreman Spike's excavator from the Japan-exclusive game Mobile Golf. I don't know much lore from this game since I haven't played it, because as you may have guessed, I do not speak Japanese. Therefore, I can't say for sure if I'm missing some connection, but why does Waluigi now drive it if it was Foreman Spike's? Even if there is a reason that I'm missing, it's strange that an excavator is a go-kart. It's just so big and clunky. I'm sure there's another reference they could have used instead. But I know people were dying for that Foreman Spike representation, so Nintendo listened to the fans, as they always do. Imagine, you are invited to a go-kart race for your friend's birthday party at the go-kart track. You look over and see someone racing in a big foot. You think how weird this is, but try to ignore it. Then, you notice an excavator. You're even more creeped out and think this is kinda dangerous and also unfair. And then one kart frightens you so badly that you decide to leave. The tank is your last straw. To continue the trend of big machinery, Drybones gets a tank, or the Dry Bomber. This is just wild that not only are we bringing in construction machinery, but now military weapons as well? Personally, I wouldn't want to be racing against the tank if I were any of the other characters. Where did he even get this thing? And why is it on the go-kart track? And for the final pick, Rob LGS. I know that this is my fourth pick, but if I didn't include some of these obvious choices, I would have never heard the end of it. There were too many good choices, and I couldn't narrow it down to just 3. And don't fight me and say I should have left out Bowser's foot. It's literally Bowser's foot as a car. Anyways, they gave Rob legs for this kart. How could I not include it? Seriously, they had a foot car, a head car in Double Dash, and now a leg car. We've almost got the full body here. Adding Rob to the game is funny enough, let alone adding this kart. And if you think Rob looks silly in them, wait until you see other characters rocking the robot legs. Like Bowser doesn't even fit in the car. Where do his legs go? I don't know why Rob needed to fake walk, but I guess anything goes in Mario Kart DS. The Rob BLS almost made the list. A cool reference to stack up on NES, but I can't choose a 5th pick here. In Mario Kart Wii, we've upgraded to both karts and bikes. I would say these ones are a bit more tame compared to DS, so don't worry, I'll stick to the limit of 3. The booster seat is my first choice. I had a similar pick in Double Dash, but I think this one is even more dramatic and funny. The exhaust pipes are so exaggerated, and the concept is still hilarious. These are baby strollers on steroids here. If this weren't a bad kart, I'd consider playing as Toad in this one. Too bad Toad isn't too good in this game either. The struggle of being a dedicated Toad fan. Next, we've got the Dolphin Dasher. The bike is just a dolphin, which you ride on the back of. This reminds me of Mario Party 8, where you ride the dolphin in Goomba's Booty Boardwalk. Maybe this one isn't too outrageous, but it's funny, and it's quite literally just a dolphin. I warned you, they're pretty tame here. After DS, they ran out of big machines to add to the game, so they went back to old school vehicles. Cause everyone had either a horse, or a dolphin? I don't know, something like that. For my third choice, I changed my pick. Sorry Quacker, I'm choosing a kart instead. The Piranha Prowler is just so silly, specifically Wario's, for no specific reason. It resembles a piranha plant, more like the bigger ones such as PD or Dino Piranhas, depending on the color scheme. I just love that this car has giant lips. I suppose it's similar to the Turbo Birdo or Turbo Yoshi, since it's just their face. One creepy thing I noticed is at the end of the race, The piranha's mouth moves. So is this thing alive? A quick honorable mention to the Blue Falcon for the crossover from F-Zero, but this kart isn't weird itself in terms of design, so I left it out. Mario Kart 7 brought back the pipe frame. This isn't in my list, but I thought it was kinda neat. And fun fact, they brought back the design from Mario Kart 64 rather than the traditional style from Super Mario Kart. Birthday Girl is a shoe with a spotted bow on it. I decided to choose this one since the shoe is a funny drivable kart, but also because I look at it and wonder, what even is this thing? And then after doing some research and finding out it's a shoe, I look at it and wonder, is that right? The more I look at it, the more I can accept that it might actually be a shoe. Just something about the design throws me off. I'm not sure if I'm alone here, or maybe others agree too, but a shoe is a funny kart regardless. My rules state that I am choosing up to 3 karts, and for this one, I'm only picking 2. Some are mildly interesting, but nothing too crazy here. No Mario Kart DS for sure. So for my final pick, I choose the Kart X. Why is there a kart shaped like a cactus? Your best guess is mine. It's just random. Sure, there are some desert themed courses, but is that why they added it? I guess there is also a cloud as a kart. But this one can be justified since Lakitu is a player, so I'm not too sure what the cactus is for. For this game, they brought gliders as an addition that you can choose from, meaning any glider can go on any kart. The same goes for wheels too. I would say the mushroom tires are the weirdest ones, so I guess my official list would include these 2 karts with the mushroom wheels, if we're getting technical, and especially since they don't match the kart. Next, we got the final arcade game titled Mario Kart Arcade GPDX. This game stepped it up and added some odd karts here. I'm only gonna choose 2 here. I could not decide on a third one, although I do think there is a spot for another one, but 2 were clear winners for me. First, we've got Ultra Leon. This kart looks sweet, but also doesn't look like it should be in a Mario game. A lion's head is pretty random for a Mario game. I'm not sure what the connection is here, and when I look at it, I can't stop picturing the Cheetos mascot. Come on, don't tell me you don't see that too. My second choice obviously goes to the Hamburger car. This is once again a random one to add. I'm not sure why they put a burger in the game. Why not a hot dog? When I look at it, I see the headlights as eyes and the cheese as a tongue. But I also saw the Cheetos mascot on the last one, so maybe I just have a wild imagination. I think this is one of the funniest vehicles in the series. For sure the funniest one from the arcade games. If only Hamburger Toad could ride in this one. I'll combine Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe, or else I'd essentially be getting 6 picks. Or maybe I'd choose the same 3 each time, which wouldn't be a good use of my time, or yours listening to me repeat myself. Well, the pipe frame is back, but the original this time. They also brought back the feature where you choose the frame, wheels, and glider separately, but I'll only focus on the body of the car itself. There were a few good choices here, but I can't ignore the fact that they brought real-life cars into this game. Mercedes collaborated with Nintendo and brought 3 of their cars into the game. First as a downloadable pack in Mario Kart 8, and then it made it into the base game as an unlockable in 8 Deluxe. I suppose if there were a collab, a car brand would make the most sense since it is a racing game. It's not like they partnered with Kleenex or Nike or something totally random, like Cheetos. Oh, wait. But still, a luxury car in the same series where a burger or a foot is drivable is still a little funny. My choice is all 3, but I can't do that, so I guess I picked the W25 Silver Arrow since it's the one that stands out the most, probably due to its long hood. The car was produced in the 1930s. It's a cool looking thing, just looks out of place next to the other cartoony cars in the game. Next, the Teddy Buggy. This ATV styled kart is just a teddy bear. It's cute, but random once again. Nintendo really loves choosing random items to turn into karts, and this one is no exception. The funniest part is that this one is actually really good, or at least it was at one point. Nintendo kept changing things and I lost track of the meta. Lastly, there's no way I was leaving out the sneaker. I talked about the foot, I talked about the other shoe car, of course I'm mentioning this car. Once again, really random. Why is there a raceable shoe? Maybe I spoke too soon about how it'd be weird if Nike collabed with them, cause apparently a Nike shoe would fit right in. I will admit that the exhaust pipe laces is super neat. I'll give them that. But seriously, why a shoe car? What's next? The pants car? There are so many karts for Mario Kart Tour that I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll begin by letting you know that the pipe frame is back. Although that shouldn't be too big of a surprise, since there are over 300 karts and a decent amount were brought back. There are a ton of cool karts here, a lot of variations of each other, but who can complain when there's so many original karts to begin with? Our lists aren't going to be the same here. Honestly, it's overwhelming looking at all of them and narrowing it down to 3. Some of these karts have similar counterparts in other installments, however, most likely done better here. Remember how I said the burger is one of the funniest karts? Well, Tour upsold it here and turned the burger into a combo cruiser with the hamburger, fries, and a soda. I made fun of Mario's kart. No, not Mario Kart. Mario's red and blue kart and Double Dash, but Tour did a similar thing, and personally, I think this design is much better. Like, this screams Mario. This screams unoriginal. We've got the other colors for the Turbo Birdo and Yoshi, cause not enough of them were taxidermized. There are just so many good karts, a lot of filler too, but let's get into my picks. The combo was one I was debating, but since I already mentioned it, let's choose something different. Similar, but different. I made a comment earlier about why not a hot dog? Well, at that point, I hadn't looked through the karts in Tour, but we've got the Fast Frank, a Frankfurter sausage. My pick goes to the white variant since, well, sausages aren't typically white. If only there was a yellow one. However, it's based off of a real white sausage, the Weisswurst. You caught me, I don't speak German either. I didn't even know this white sausage exists, so seeing the cart was funny, and discovering that they're real is also amusing. The fork is the exhaust pipe, which is a fitting touch. The cheap snorkel is my second choice. No, not that one, this one. Now I understand that this was made for the main, who is Mario swimwear, but a fish doesn't need a snorkel. It can breathe perfectly fine underwater. In fact, to my understanding, with a snorkel, it would be no longer able to breathe. I know the fish isn't alive, so it doesn't matter, but the two ideas clash each other. He does look cute with the goggles, but once again, unnecessary for the fish. I can't get over the concept, therefore deserving a spot on the list. My third choice goes to Chain Chomp Chariot. First of all, am I just supposed to accept that DK is a gladiator? I digress. Let's talk about the cart. There are 2 fake chain chomps who give the illusion of pulling it. They're wearing gladiator helmets, but I like to refer to them as mohawks personally. Once again, the concept that these guys are pulling the cart is just so funny for a go-kart. Almost seems like cheating. That's right, baby Mario, I said cheating. However, they aren't alive, so they're strictly for design purposes. We've got the sheaths on the sides for the swords, cause who doesn't love a good fight to death for entertainment? How couldn't I give the chain chomps with a sweet hairdo a spot on my list? And now, the big finale, Mario Kart World, our last game. And one more mention that the pipe frame is back, the original style. My first choice might not be an obvious pick, but let me convince you. The Ribbit Revster. Now why would I pick this kart? It looks like a normal car with a few frog features. And I would counter that by saying that is exactly why I chose it. They could have went full out frog, like the Jade Hop Rod in Tour, but instead, they did it subtly. If you look at it from any other angle than the front, you may not even be able to tell that it's a frog. I don't know why they just made a frog look so classy, such an interesting choice, but it's got enough features to suggest that it is a frog. The headlights are the eyes, the toes on the rims, the nose, the green. So random that for the other carts, whatever they incorporate just ends up being the entire cart. And honestly, that's what I'm expecting at this point. Like, want an egg-themed cart? Well, here's an egg. Here's a dolphin, which is also back for this game. Oh, a burger? So to make this cart themed after a frog, at this point in the series, is more odd to me than a full-on frog would be. That being said, I will continue to contradict myself and choose the fin twin for my next choice. Although this is what I expect Nintendo to do at this point, it is still a weird cart. I mean, it's just a raceable fish. The headlights are the eyes, and it looks a little more realistic than what I'm used to. I mean, this is also a fish cart in the series, and this is a fish riding a fish. The lobster roller was a close choice here too, since they're similar in concept, but different animals. However, I still think the realistic fish is a little weirder. Lastly, what other way to finish this off than with the Lil Dumpy? And no, I didn't pick it just because of the funny name, although it may have helped. It is a toy dump truck cart. What more do I need to say? It reminds me of a Tonka truck. We've had real machinery, and now we've scaled down to toy machinery. It's cute, random, and yellow, which sums up the list well. And there we have it. My list of up to 3 odd carts from every Mario Kart game. There are a lot of weird carts that I didn't get to talk about since there are so many and my rule was restricting, so let me know which ones you think are weird. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the support from everyone. Until next time.